So the Fed raises the Fed funds rate 1/4%. And man, was it a surprise. Well, no, not really. Everybody thought the Fed was going to raise the Fed funds rate 1/4%. I believe it was up to like a 99% probability by the time they did it. So we'll look at the reaction that the market had. We'll look at some of the numbers coming out. Some really shocking numbers that would just shock me anyways, as far as some of the real estate statistics of current homeowners. And then we're going to look at the MBA forecast, financial forecast or mortgage rate forecast for real estate going through 2023 and 2024, because I really think they're dead on with some of their predictions. And everyone is starting to follow suit. You know, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Redfin, all upgrading or updating their forecasts for 2023 and 2024, mainly 2024. And I think it's interesting to see as they are saying kind of what I've already been saying for a long time. Not that I'm some genius. I listened to a lot of other information, but it was always apparent to me that with very little inventory and very little places for that inventory to come from, you just weren't going to see any meaningful price declines, at least nationally. Of course, some places out west and in Florida have actually had the opposite effect. We'll look at some cool stats of the amount of people that are coming here to Florida. It's just really mind-boggling about how many people want to live in certain states. Not if we live here, because we know Florida's a great state to live. So again, everyone upgrading their forecast. Fed, though, did raise the Fed funds rate 1/4. Let's see how it affected the market here. So interest rates back up over 7%. And when we look at the chart here, remember everyone's rate is different. But we can see right here that it's just more of the same. Now, we did get rates down to 6% at the beginning of the year, but the high was like 7.25. We have been really at the 7% range for a while. And even though the Fed raised the Fed funds rate 1/4, the market really didn't have much reaction, because we're going to look at the forecast, but really the market, the bond market, the smart money believes that as the year goes on and definitely into next year, the Fed is going to lower the Fed funds rate. Interest rates are going to come down. Inflation has been stickier than what some people predicted, but it doesn't matter. Rates are going down most likely as the year goes on. Now, I want to look at pending sales, because I've had people say, well, the market, was there a crash? The prices did not crash. And did transactions crash, meaning the percentage of transactions? So if you look right here, let's just look at the data. Right now, you can see pending sales are down from where they've been for the last couple of years quite a bit. And so when people say that transactions have crashed, I would frame it this way. Transactions have definitely fallen. You could say crash if you say bigger than a 25% reduction from the high. We used to be at 6.5+ million sales. Now we're closer down to about 4 million sales annualized. I like to look at better, though, as the new normal. I lived through 2005, 6, 7, and 8, all the craziness there. And really the better way to look at the market is, what is the new normal? Because this is the new normal. Things are not likely to change tomorrow, next month, or 6 months from now. It's going to feel very similar to this, really throughout this year and next year. When I looked at this Google trend here, I thought this was really interesting. This is people that are Googling, is there going to be a market crash? And you can see that peaked out. And then that's really, really been declining really since the beginning of the year. And I think most people understand now that the pricing is fairly stable. Affordability is hard, meaning if you're buying a home, people have to make a lot more money just for a starter home than what they did, obviously, a couple years ago. But the things that we can't control are prices and inflations and interest rates and the market. The things we can that do influence us, or that we can control, is our attitude, what we do every day, our effort. And when I spent time in North Carolina for the last week with some of the top producing real estate agents and mortgage people in the United States, literally they are some of the best of the best. They are really controlling what they do day to day. There's only so many levers you can pull on if you're trying to get more business in a different market over the last couple of years, and really identifying what those are for you, what you need to be doing as a daily success plan. When I'm hanging out with people that are doing that kind of volume in business, makes me realize, like, oh, wow, there's no big secret. They're just salespeople that are turning up the volume on phone calls and videos and social media and texting. And that's what we need to do too. So I want to go over those. These are just shocking numbers to me. And this is why I think that things are going to feel like this for the near future. So if I said, how many people, if you take 100% of the homes in the United States, how many people have no mortgage on their home whatsoever, number one? Number two, how many people have greater than 50% equity? Or number three, how many people have less than 50% equity. For people that have no mortgages, it's 38.7%. Almost 40% of people that currently have a home, own a home, have no mortgage. That is ridiculous. That is just a crazy amount of people that have no payment, no incentive to really sell their home if they don't need to because they have no mortgage, right? So they paid their house off probably for a reason. Number two, as far as 50%, it's 30%. So when you look at people that have no mortgage and people that basically have 50% or more equity, that's 70% of almost everybody that owns a home. Then you add into that almost 80% of those people that have a mortgage have rates below 5%. And that's where you get this lock effect that I talked about last week, where there's just not a lot of incentive for people to list their homes, and that's why things really are probably going to feel really the same for a while. When I look at the MBA forecast here, you can see as far as total existing home sales, we're down here. We've been down to 4.1, 4.2 million. This is really a little high. We're a little below this. But look at this. It's going to trickle up pretty much from here on out. So they're saying by the end of 2024, pending total existing home sales, are going to be up. So this is the bottom, right? However this feels now, we're going to get better from here. Originations and sales are going to get better from here. And when you look at interest rates, they are saying 6.6. We're actually higher than that. 5.9 by the end of the year and 4.9 by the end of 2024. So the good news is, after doing this for a long time, all markets are cyclical. We are on the bottom end of this cycle and we are going to go on a good run, but not tomorrow, right? It's going to be a slow trickle up. And again, it goes back to what are you focusing on? So many people, I ask them, what is your daily success plan? What does a daily success plan mean? It's this simple. You have past clients. How are you staying in touch with them? How are you staying in present mind? You have old leads. How are you doing that? Past clients, old leads, new leads. How are you getting more business? And if it's just social media, unless you're doing a tremendous amount of social media, I do a lot of social media. It does help get my message out there, but it really doesn't bring in a lot of sales. It's all the extra stuff I do with it that makes a big difference. So really focused on how to have the biggest net at the lowest cost and something to be extremely fortunate about. We live in Florida, the Sunshine State. I love Florida, and so many people agree with us. They want to live here. Last bit of numbers I'll read you here that I thought were worth looking at this week. 5 Florida metros in top 10 for out-of-state buyers. Top 10 out-of-state metros in the second quarter was Las Vegas, Phoenix, Tampa number 3, Orlando number 4, Northport, Sarasota, Cape Coral. We're just dominating the top 10 here. So Florida's great place to live. A lot of people agree. If you're looking for a great reason to be in real estate, we're at the bottom as far as transactions go. Up from here, rates are going to fall. That's great. And we're in a place that everybody wants to live. Focus on your daily success plan. If you have any questions on this or anything else, reach out to me. I'd love to help. As more information becomes available that moves the market, as always, I'm going to cover it right here. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.